It's Loving the Strange with Carrie Jones and Shaun. Loving the Strange, a podcast for weirdos and those who want to be weirder. Embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Loving the Strange. Check us out. Hey.
What's up, baby?
Hey, Shaun. Welcome to Loving the Strange, my friend.
Thank you, Carrie.
My partner in crime.
Yeah.
My partner in podcasting.
That's
and
right.
Now my partner in parenting.
Oh, we've been parenting partners for a long time.
Apparently. So, welcome to our podcast where we're going to be... Hey, Caitlin's here already. Yes, someone's here. Andy. So, welcome to our podcast. We're going to be talking about weird things parents do, weird parenting stuff. Dee's watching with her brother. Maybe they'll have stories. Maybe they're too afraid of their parents to share. Caitlin, same thing. But if you do have a funny parenting story, type it out in the chat. We'll read it aloud and share with the world, or just the four of us.
Yeah, just the four of us.
Woo, we can make it if we try. When I was a little kid, I thought that the line was just the two of us. We get naked if we try, but it's really we can make it if we try. And I used to sing that all the time.
Oh, baby.
I think that maybe my parents fed me that wrong line.
Possibly.
Which would fit in with the theme of the podcast.
Carrie has the best wrong lines of songs ever.
I do.
It doesn't happen very often, but
when it happens,
when it does, it's awesome.
And it's almost always songs from like the 70s.
Yeah,
like
just on the cusp of her time.
Like right before me. And I just fail so badly. I'm good with musicals and show tunes, all lyrics of the 80s and 90s, but you give me 70s or 60s and I will make it weird.
Late 60s or early 70s and Carrie's making shit up.
Language, Ferrari.
I'm sorry.
Language. That's the sound of our dog trying to get out of the office.
She's being a little turd, man.
She's a turd tonight.
Poogie. Leave the cat
but
leave the house.
Let's talk. Ready?
Yeah.
Parents under a lot of stress. Parents, best job in the world. Parents do some weird things to get by. And tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the weird things, or maybe smart weird, or maybe just lovingly strange weird things that parents do throughout history and right now.
Did you say that parenting was the best job in the world?
I made an eye roll.
Because I equate parenting. My experience with parenting is exactly the same as my experience as a cop.
Would you care to explain?
Yeah, like 1% of the people that you encounter actually appreciate what you do and use manners and stuff like that.
So 1% of your kids?
Well, our youngest child, the one I brought into this fiasco,
called our marriage.
Yes, I feel like I'm appreciated about 1% of the time.
You just called our marriage a fiasco.
Oh, that's not what I meant.
I don't know. I think that sometimes the truth slips out.
Our marriage is the only thing that keeps our marriage together.
I think we should.
All the auxiliary involvements are just fanatically crazy.
I think we need to rename the podcast. Is Shaun on pot or not? Because of the brilliant things you say, like, I think the marriage keeps our marriage.
That's right.
Together.
That's exactly what I meant.
Dude, only somebody super high would understand that.
No.
So.
It's that core bond that we have in our marriage. Like if you were a vampire and you bit me and I saw you in my dreams and we were bonded like that.
We've been watching First Kill, if you can't tell.
Well, it was kind of in True Blood, too.
Yeah, it was in True Blood, too.
Anyways.
You're right. I didn't realize that until you said it right now.
All the other witches and werewolves and stuff out there.
All right.
That's why our marriage protects our marriage.
All right, Boo.
What?
Focus.
I'm
Focus.
focused.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
We're going to start with some weird things that strict parents do. Your parents weren't strict, were they, Shawnee?
Well, it depends on how old I was.
I don't know what that means.
Well, we went through some phases. There was one of them was a Pentecostal church phase.
Oh, I forgot. Were they strict then?
Yeah.
Really?
But not as strict as they could have been. Like, we still had a TV.
Did you watch naughty
It was the
things?
goodness of my heart and my intelligence that made me such a good kid. Oh, come on,
Poggy doesn't agree
Poggy
with
didn't
Shawnee.
even know me back then. So, my mom would be like, don't you step your big toe outside of this front door. When she'd leave me, alone when I was getting older.
Yeah.
And I was like 3, and she'd just be like, okay, you're good. Just don't step your big toe out of this house or there'll be hell to pay. I'd be like, all right. And I never did.
You're lying, right?
About the 3 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Someday your mom is going to watch this podcast and she's going to be so mad at you.
She will not. The big toe part's true as hell.
Okay.
That was her threat. I don't remember the end of it, actually. It must have scared me so bad I blocked it out.
I bet you did.
It was probably...
Shaun has a lot of repressed childhood memories.
I have a lot not repressed, though.
All right, so ready?
They're worse.
Ruin My Week has some amazingly funny...
Ruin My Week?
Yes.
Is that a club?
Can
I join?
You could do it like Ruin My Hour every day. So ready? RuinMyWeek.com has some tweets that they've stolen from the world of Twitter and compiled them into strict parent quotes because a guy, Dingus Khan, I'm sure that's their real name, had a tweet that said, "Children of strict parents, what was one of your weirdest rules?" And Dingus wasn't allowed to wear shorts on Sunday because it made them too rowdy for Jesus.
Did they go to church?
I don't know.
Because
all I have is a tweet, babe. Like, but I'm not sure about the correlation.
I understand.
Yeah?
I see a lot of church parents doing that. Or I could just see some smart parents doing that. Like maybe Dingus only had 6 pairs of shorts and his mom was like, hey, I don't want to do laundry every day, Dingus. So I'm going to tell you this lie. Which you got to wear pants on Sunday.
Really? But why would you think that shorts make you rowdy?
Oh, they don't. That's just part of the excuse.
Oh, it's like, the elaborate nature of the lie.
Into the woods. They're just trying to lure you in there deeper. It's like folklore. So
one person responding to Dingus said, if there was Matthew Powell, OMSIV, said, if there was something I wanted to do with friends, I had to give 24-hour notice for his parents to, quote, think about it and, quote, talk it over. And if they didn't get 24 hours notice, they would just say no.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. No last minute stuff in that household.
Man.
Yeah. What kind of Myers-Briggs personality type is that?
I mean, I know some parents right now whose calendars they share with each other and they're like super full, and they got a plan all around that. But I know they're more flexible than 24 hours.
Yeah, man.
Good God.
All right. So on awesomeinventions.com, our dog is barking. On Awesome Inventions.
This is a professional podcast brought to you by, I don't know, who? Johnson & Johnson. Just kidding. So, nobody sponsors us. We're self-supported.
And this is why. So on awesomeinventions.com, I think my very favorite one, and I'm going to just use it right now because why not? Because who knows how long we'll last in this podcast, is somebody said, when my dad gets drunk, he gets really emotional talking about Justin Bieber.
What?
I know.
Ooh, fella's got some deep-seated repressed
He's a believer. There. He's a believer, man.
A believer in what? A believer, you mean?
Yeah.
A believer?
A believer, like a believer.
Believer. I never heard of that before. I thought I just made it up. Well, obviously
No,
not.
it's real. It's real. I share a birthday with Justin Bieber, as you all do.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
And you're both Canadian. Oh my God.
Dee's trying to think of something, but she's got nothing.
I'm trying to think of something.
Dee, come on, Dee, we depend upon you. All right, no pressure, Dee. Jenna, however, says, would you like to read this, Shawnee?
Yeah.
Yay!
Because it sounds like it's right in my alley. Kids are less likely to run around in dress clothing, mostly due to being scolded for doing so the first few times. I remember super stoic kids on Sunday afternoons. Only the truly brave or crazy ran away from their parents in front of the priests, pastors, or elders. My mother's church journey was quite a ride.
Wow. See, that makes sense. So you don't wear shorts because you have to wear fancy clothes so that you behave.
Yeah.
And if you are from a family whose big religious events are on Sunday versus like Saturday or another day, that's a Sunday thing.
Man, I'll be thankful for that. I'll be honest with you. One advantage of going to a Pentecostal church is that nobody ever got really dressed up. Like It was like a collar shirt, maybe a tie, and blue jeans.
Don't ladies have to wear those long skirts?
Whatever, man.
Oh, the women don't count.
They do as they're told.
I can see this in you now. I can see that this time has made a definite impact upon you.
Why? Oh, because I like your
Because you just said
short.
You just said the women don't count, Shaun.
I didn't say
you
that.
said they don't count.
I said they do as they're told.
And that was even worse. I was just going to go with one incendiary comment first.
I'm just joking. You know, I have the highest respect for you and all women on this planet, love.
Mm-hmm. So John Bell said,
yeah.
How about our parents saying, stop crying before I really give you something to cry about?
Yeah.
Did they say that a lot?
You don't remember? Did your parents never say that to you?
No.
No?
No. I was never threatened with violence.
Oh, well. No,
if I
Oh, Miss Privileged white girl here.
No, if I got slapped, there was no warning coming, is all I'm saying. Yeah. And the only time I got slapped was for my mouth. I ran my mouth. My mom did not like it.
Well.
Dee said, yes, they did. It might have been a Southern thing. I bet people say it in New England.
Yeah.
My mom just didn't give warning. Like, it was like, if she hit me, it wasn't as disciplined. It was like a fit of rage when I was a teenager. And it only happened like 3 times at the most. And the last time, my poor mom, because I really had been mouthing off, I grabbed her wrist. My mom was tiny. And I stopped her from slapping me because I was like a senior or something. And I've never seen my mom like so overwhelmed with, oh no. But I didn't do anything, obviously. But
there's always that moment, baby.
The time you overpower your parent. Yeah, I know. Poor parents. My poor mom.
This household ever.
No, it doesn't. Kids should be seen and not heard mentally. Oh, herd mentality. I'm so sorry, Jenna. Jenna said kids should be seen and not heard mentality was big, and I was often told that. I was told that too. But then my same mother would be like, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Of course they should be heard and seen and everything. They have thoughts and they're humans and emotions. So my mom was also very cool.
See, I never heard that in my family.
Never?
But I heard it a lot.
Really?
Like, I think just because it was so big. It really was. But my parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles never would say such a thing. Number one, I didn't say crap as it was. But
yeah, you were so quiet.
You know, they just weren't that kind of people.
Yeah.
A little more educated.
Oh, when my mom heard that, she'd get so upset.
Yeah.
She'd also get really upset when she heard. No, never mind.
Oh, come on, baby.
When she heard, just behave, Shaun. Okay.
Say it.
She got really upset when people were like, she had these friends from another country in Europe who worked with her. She didn't like the wife at all. And the wife was they had two, perfectly well-behaved teenagers. And the wife was always like, I cannot wait to get them out of the house. I cannot wait to get them out of the house. And these were like perfect kids. And my mom was like, I just want to murder her. Does she know how lucky she is? She chose to have those children. And my mom would get so irate every time we went over their house and left that I thought she was going to commit murder. My mom had a short fuse.
Your mother did?
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny. Do not read John Bell's comment yet. Because
Okay.
what I was going to say to you, the first time you were talking about your mom, how she would just slap you.
Yeah.
And it would be like a total place of anger and rage. I was going to say that's how John's mother was. Really? But I didn't want to be negative or insulting. But when you read his comment, I think I'll be proven correct. Do you want me to read it or do you want to?
No,
I'll read it. Okay. It says, Carrie had it easy. I got whipped with a switch I had to pick myself. Shoes bouncing off my head. Belts cracked on my butt like a rat tail. And tables flipped over on me. But I probably deserved most of it. He probably did deserve most of it. But
Shaun. But the fact that you got to pick that switch means that it was forethought upon the parents. Like,
dude, my grandmother used to tell me that all the time. I'm going to whip your ass with a switch, and I'm going to make you go pick it off the orange tree because those are thin and long. It's like, pow, will burn your ass like nothing. But anyways, she never did it because she was a kind-hearted woman. She wouldn't make me go pick my own switch because I had a manipulated rupture on my finger.
Did you ever get the switch from your Grammy?
Probably not, but I've been whipped with a belt before.
Oh, from your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Can't imagine your mom doing that.
No, she just used her fists.
No, she did not. How did this happen? How did this turn into this podcast?
John Bell.
Capital punishment, like corporal punishment, all the punishment. John Bell. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Jenna. My mother cleared the house, rain or shine. Every weekend to clean and rearrange the place. She would literally kick us out on Saturday after breakfast, and we couldn't come back or get in trouble until dinner. Wow. That was her alone time.
Sounds like a good Saturday, though.
I know. I bet that's like her, the mom alone.
Live up north and it was wintertime or something.
We used to have, Jenna, thank you for this, because it made me remember that we used to have quote unquote cleaning parties.
What?
So
at your house? I was just thinking about that too.
So every Saturday morning,
yeah.
Like when my stepdad was alive, especially, we'd like crank up like Donna Summer and like disco because he was like really into that. And we would vacuum and like the whole house and like wash the floors and the windows and do all the dusting, which I had to do too, and dance to like whatever music my stepfather played. And he always called it a cleaning party, which is probably the only way to get young Carrie to be into it. But I loved it.
Yeah. We used to have family cleaning day. Every never.
Yeah. Oh no, Jenna, this is sad. All right. Jenna said,
wire hangers.
I know. Jenna said, my mom liked wire hangers, which sounds terrible. My dad would snap his belt, but he never hit us. The snap wasn't enough to straighten any of us out, LOL. I bet it was. Poor Jenna. And then Jenna also said, cleaning parties are great. That's what I did with my kid's heart.
Good
See?
For you, actually.
Why have we not done this, Shaun? We totally failed again.
Oh, yeah.
Again, as parents. Susie said, we're gonna move on after this one. Picked my own switch until my mom hit my calf just right and the skin popped open. I was 5. Oh no.
Oh.
Also, we got to pick which side of the wood spoon was used. You either had welts or depressions. Smiley face. Yeah. The best part of that is the smiley face in the comment. No, we gotta move on. It's too depressing.
This is like a quick, like a poll for our listeners.
Okay.
So maybe you had them in your house. I never had any in my house. But you walk into somebody's house, if you didn't have them in your house, and they had the giant crossed wooden spoon and fork on the wall.
Yeah, that's very
and
80s.
that was like
man.
the urban legend that that's what you got spanked with. Or at least I think it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
think I remember
size
seeing
wooden
those.
spoon would hurt a lot more than that.
Yeah, like people put them as decoration, just this giant wooden spoon, and it was like
right in their dining room.
Yeah.
They put it on the wood paneling.
Yeah, on the fake wood paneling in the 1970s house. And like it was huge. Those things were like massive. They were like spoons and forks for giants.
That's right.
We never had those.
Me neither.
All right.
But I think every kid that ever had them used to get spanked with them. Really? That's what I heard.
That's terrifying.
Anyways.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
You ready for a new one?
Yeah.
So back in the 1910s, moms-to-be, according to the Good Housekeeping and other sources, were told that if you wanted your baby to be beautiful, you couldn't think of anything ugly your entire pregnancy.
You couldn't look at anything ugly?
You couldn't think of it. Like, you couldn't think any ugly thoughts. Like, oh, I'm mad. No, then your baby will be ugly. Oh, I'm cranky.
Negative?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Nothing negative.
Holy crap.
Or your baby will be ugly. You will curse your baby to a life of being rejected by shallow people. What?
What would the mom's mental state be like if they thought nothing negative for their whole 9 months and then the baby was ugly?
I don't know. That's a good
Talking about postpartum depression.
Yeah, that would be.
Oh,
Jenna said that the fork and spoon are in the background in the movie Edward Scissorhands. We had a set with a knife. Wow, showing off, Jenna.
She said she was told it was rare. I bet it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Here Susie has some weird parenting advice from her son's pediatrician while he was teething. Put a teaspoon of whiskey in his water bottle.
Oh, yeah. I
know some people now who have rubbed whiskey upon their baby's gums in the 2020s.
Oh, that works good.
Sayer said, like Jenna, that his mom was very strict.
I've actually done that myself when I've had a toothache.
You put whiskey on your own gum?
Oh, yeah. Soak it in a cotton ball.
And then did you suck on your binky?
My cotton ball binky with whiskey. Yeah. And clove oil works good too.
Caitlin the Beautiful said, dang, that's probably why I turned out funny looking. We're not going to fall for that, Caitlin, because you're beautiful. All right.
I was thinking the same thing.
But you're funny, so we'll give it to you. All right, I have another one. Up until the 1920s, quote, many parents believed that left-handedness should be trained away. And so they'd put braces on their kids' hands to keep them from using their left hand.
Man, that's horrible.
I know. My mom was left-handed, and they couldn't train it away from her. She wasn't in the 1920s. She was born.
Did they try?
They tried. Yeah, she was her dad was left-handed too, and my sister's left-handed, and I'm kind of both, but I do most things with my right. But I can write with my left and paint and draw. Anyways, the point here is that my mom, not about me, but I do love to talk about me. But the point here is that my mom, they tried really hard. They thought she had people telling her that it was satanic to use her left hand.
Really?
Yeah. They were
for you or for her?
For her.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember grabbing things when I was a kid and always having teachers push it into my right hand, even though by then it was kind of chill. But you cannot use scissors if you're left-handed. It was a big deal because I always preferred.
Use scissors with my left hand either.
No, they don't work right. They didn't work right. The blades weren't set up.
No, it's the way the handles are molded.
It messed everything up.
Opposing to the blade, it's not made for left-handers for sure. But now they sell left-handed people scissors.
I know. My poor mom, if only she were still alive.
It's not even a disability anymore.
No, but it was really considered the worst thing. So terrible.
See, in my generation, it was more considered to be cool.
Yeah, see, Jenna's same place. Oh my goodness, yes. My mom tied my hand to my chair so I could depend on it. I'm ambidextrous as a result, and my mom said I was evil. So wrong. I think that the reason I can use both hands if I try, shut up.
I thought of
Is-
so many naughty jokes in the last 2 minutes, but I'm not going to
Maybe
say
you can
any
just
of them.
say it.
No,
can't
I'm not.
you?
Go,
Oh
keep
no,
going.
because of Facebook.
Yeah,
The
Meta.
the only reason that I can use both hands, I think, is because in 7th grade I fell. No, my wrist got slammed in a locker by a Kim Ashton. She still feels really guilty about it because we talked about it recently. Poor Kim. Wasn't your fault, although I was annoying you at the time. I'm very
Still
annoying.
not their fault.
I'm annoying. I can understand. And then I hurt my other hand in PE trying to do a gymnastics move with one hand. And so I had splints or casts on both hands and I couldn't do anything.
Can you write with your feet?
I remember having to do the family crest project in social studies for Mr. Fakeney, real name, in 7th grade, and you had to create a family crest, and I painted it with my toes.
No way.
Yeah, I got an A.
Awesome.
What?
I said that's awesome.
I don't know if I can still write with my toes, so. But
you do have pretty talented feet, baby.
I was always hurting myself, and I was always hurting my right arm, so I think that's part of the reason why I can do things with both. Random.
That makes sense.
Boring. I'm so sorry. But if you want to imagine,
way off track of parenting.
If you want to imagine little, well, it's why my mom, here I'll bring it back, got so overprotective of me as a kid because I was always hurting myself. Sarah Silverman on Twitter recently, like last year, I think, was like, "Oh my God, you were always hurt. Were you okay? I feel so badly that I never asked if you were okay." And I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine. I was totally fine. I was just super clumsy. Because that's how people remember me in middle school, as the girl who always had a cast. That is not the way you want to be remembered.
That's what all victims say, baby.
And then my mom was super overprotective because she was like, if Carrie goes over Debbie Muir's house, they have bikes there, she's going to break something. Like, she was like,
oh my God.
So bad. It was so horrible. My poor mom. Anyway, Susie said, in nursery school, the teacher taped my left hand thumb to my palm so I would not use it, and I am ambidextrous. See? Think of how we all got our brains rewired.
But Susie has perfected the princess wave with her left hand, like no other.
Oh, shoot. Do you have something to share, Shaun, so I don't go down the Carrie used to hurt herself?
Yeah, why would you do that?
I'm sorry. I was just trying to fill podcast time.
No, you're not. We're only 27 minutes into it. We're doing great.
All right.
So this is from this is from parent.com, and it's 8 vintage parenting trends that boggle the mind. Although I think this first one is pretty darn cool. Open air baby carriages. In the 1930s, if you wanted to know if a mother really cared about her baby, all you had to do was look at where her baby slept. Any mother worth her salt, the expert said, would lock her baby in a metal cage that was hanging out the window.
Oh, I've seen that. I repressed that because it's so terrifying.
Baby cages were created as a way to get city kids outdoors. Parenting experts at the time said that babies needed to be aired out with an odd trip outside.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I think it's cool.
Maybe that's what that famous Michael Jackson photo is about.
Around that baby, honey.
I know, but maybe he was like, "Oh, I don't have a cage, but it needs some air." Yeah, you know, when he's dangling it over the balcony, maybe that's all he's doing. Everybody give him a bad rap for that, but maybe, you know, he was like, "No, I want to be like back in the 1930s."
That's always my excuse, man. I'm just airing it out.
I'm just serious. You're not talking about a baby, are you? Wow. Carrie's here. Hey, Carrie.
Hello, Carrie.
And it's good to see you. And
long time no see, right?
Yeah. And Susie said that my statement earlier sounds like the title of a book, The Girl Who Always Had a Cast.
Yeah.
That would be the title of my memoir.
Story too, but yeah, she hasn't had one forever.
We're gonna jinx it.
I mean,
we're totally gonna jinx it. Oh my God, that's terrible. Susie said, in Iceland, where I just was, babies nap outside from the day they are born. We would see the prams lined up on the birthing hospital balcony.
It's got to be really good for them, fresh air, but not hanging on the side of the windowsill, 20 stories up.
My brother was like a baby who started like climbing. Like he just started climbing when he was super, super young, like way before he hit a year old. One time my mom came home and found him climbing up the refrigerator.
Yeah.
And somehow he survived and never had casts. But can you imagine him in a baby cage? He'd be like just gone.
Yeah.
With
It
that.
would drive him crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I also knew a person who was much older than I was, and his mother left him out on the yard all the time, like their front yard in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
I think maybe in like the 50s, the early 1950s. And he would just be out there in his little playpen crib whistling at people as they walk by. And it was just normal. And they'd be like, hey, little baby. And
my mom used to put me outside all the time in the front yard and just leave me.
When you were a baby?
Yeah, I remember. And now that I know
how do you remember when you were a baby?
Now that I know how to read, I just figured out that little sign that hung around my neck said free. Poor woman never had anybody no takers.
That's kind of like when we put things outside our house in Bar Harbor.
Except we got takers. See, I'm not even worth an old chest of drawers.
That's so sad. I would have taken you.
Seriously, though, and I think you might have one of the pictures, maybe not, I don't know. But I used to spend time outside in my, what would be called today a playpen, but back then it was actually circular, not square.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just out there with the gators, swamp apes in Florida.
No gators around.
Yeah.
Just out in the grass in the fresh Florida sunshine in the air.
Oh, skunk ape.
That's probably when I got my basal cell carcinoma when I was a baby.
Probably.
That's the only time I ever went shirtless.
And nobody understands that, Shawnee.
What?
Why you never went shirtless. John Bell might know.
Oh, because it ain't nice to look at.
It is nice to look at.
Oh, man.
You are so silly.
It's like the underside of a manatee.
I just told our local sheriff on Facebook to stop being dysmorphic about himself. I'm going to say it to you, too.
Oh, thanks, baby.
Don't be silly.
Okay, I'll stop right this second.
All right, Carrie says, do you want to read it?
My parents would give me a small glass of sherry so I would fall asleep before company came over. Whoa. Yeah, what were your parents doing? What were your parents doing, Karen? They thought it was hilarious. I always wondered why I was so thirsty.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I got a better one than that.
How can you do better than that?
Oh, how can I do better than that?
Oh gosh, I'm afraid.
I can specifically remember this.
Okay.
I was a little child. Like, I was a toddler. I know you're not supposed to remember anything before the age of like 3. But I also know that everybody in this world believes they have at least one memory from when they were like 2 years old.
I believe that, yeah.
So I
don't know
was
how
on
that
the
is,
floor, sitting cross-legged in my diaper, watching television.
Aww.
And some members of my parents were also in the living room smoking marijuana.
Stunning.
And after a certain amount of time, my little baby brain doesn't remember, I jumped up and I was like, I'm hungry.
You had the munchies.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, no, and it's never gone away.
No, it never went away.
Because you still always get...
Oh, I like savory and sweet, so.
I just see you as like this little 2-year-old being like your eyes are just these little slits. And you're like, I'm hungry. But you have a beard in my imagination. No, so I don't know if that's right.
Good Lord.
Sorry.
Now you're making me some Cartoon Network series
Oh,
character.
Caitlin said, Caitlin was raised apparently a lot like I was raised, and said, I was raised to go without and to not inconvenience anyone. Like, instead of asking for help or asking for waters at a friend's house, or if I am asked if I want anything, I was raised to politely decline. I was too. And I remember one of my friend's family, when I was a kid in high school, like, they'd be so mad at me. They'd be like, Carrie, you can have water. And I'd be like, no, no, I'm fine. And they'd be like, have some water. Your lips are cracking and it's like 100 degrees out. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to inconvenience you. And it was Mr. Tulgren, if anybody here is from West High School. And he pointed at the faucet and he was like, really? The water. It just comes out, Carrie. Just comes out. How hard is that? Oh, that's an inconvenience. Oh my gosh. Like, he was so mad at me. He'd get so mad at me, Galen. But I was raised, no, you don't ask for anything. And you always are like, no, 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 I'm good. It's an honor to be at anybody else's house. You don't want them to actually notice that you're there and then kick you out or something. I don't know how my mom's brain worked with that. Oh, Caitlin just said, I don't know if that's normal or a generational thing, but manner-wise, that's how it went. LOL. Yeah, I had that too.
I never accepted anything either, but
because you were afraid it was poisoned.
No, because I came from a poor family, so I always felt bad even taking stuff at home.
Oh,
thinking that it cost my parents money. But that all changed one day when I had a rich friend, and I opened up his refrigerator and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! I'm taking everything I can."
No, you did not.
Oh yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah. No, I didn't take it. But whenever I was over there, I took advantage of the situation.
Wow.
It's not like I brought an empty backpack with me. There's still all those high seas and Oreos.
I could totally see like an 8-year-old Shawnee. It's like, I don't know, $6 million man or something backpack and like shoving all like the Pepsi cans and because it wasn't store brand into the back of your backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we get soda. Doesn't matter if it's store brand or name brand. Special dessert for us was a candy bar cut in 4 pieces.
Sorry.
What? I'm serious. I'm not kidding.
I was only if I had candy, which I didn't really like anyway, and it wasn't Halloween. I was like, it was always like you know how you would get a Hershey bar and they'd have like the tiny segments. I'd get like one tiny segment whenever it happened.
Yeah.
I think that might be why I still don't eat a lot of chocolate in one setting because it's like.
Me neither.
You're such a liar. Susie said, I used to tie a clothesline to the back of my daughter's sunsuit and the other end to the tree in the backyard because she was an escape artist and I was tired of the neighbors calling to tell me that my less than 2-year-old was running down the street naked. I'm so sorry. I'm just imagining this little 2-year-old being like, I'm free! I'm free! Like running down.
That's what it sounds like it was, actually.
I know.
She got put on a run.
She's like a husky. You know how huskies or beagles or escape artist dogs?
Yeah, that's she was running laps side by side with the family dog out there. There wasn't one strip of dirt in the grass, there was 2.
Anyways, she could climb the hurricane fence and learned how to take off all her clothes and open the shoelace covers with bells on them. Oh man, but she survived.
That's
she
right.
survived. I would do that when I was little. I would take off all my clothes every night before I put on my PJs and run naked in circles like I was on a racetrack in front of the picture window.
I didn't know you used to do that.
Yeah, I haven't.
When you were a kid.
Yeah, I've not let go of that habit, honestly. Every night. Woo, woo,
around the house. Woo. In the center of the bedroom now. She can run circles around there. Oh, no. Sayir said, when I don't prepare for studies, Mom just throws off my books and tells me you can't do anything. Oh, man. That's harsh. That is harsh.
That's so harsh. And very, very drama, honestly. No offense to your mom. But just because you weren't studying doesn't mean that you can't do anything. You're really good at being nice and supportive.
That's right. And drawing.
And drawing. See, we know. All right. Liz says, I felt like I never got the memo that you're supposed to offer people something when they arrive at your house.
Me neither.
Sean
My
didn't
parents
get
kept
it
it from me. They balled it up and threw it in the trash can.
No, they smoked it. They smoked that memo, Sean.
We will not be the house where all the teenagers come and eat all the food and drink all the drinks.
My mom definitely was very like, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to give you this, and was feeding everybody all the time, which is why it's very funny that I was always so afraid to have, or so taught, or so entrenched of not taking other people's stuff. But she was really good at that. But I think that now as a grown-up, I have so much social anxiety, and then also I get so excited at the same time when people are here that I'm always like, oh, do you want anything? And like, I think I freak people out.
Carrie is super, super good about that. She's a great hostess.
But I think I'm a little too enthusiastic.
I'm still carrying on the cheap tradition.
He does carry on the cheap tradition.
Like, I don't have anything in the refrigerator. Don't open it. I'll smack your hand.
No, that's not true. He's not true. We have one person who is our friend.
That's just because I'm trying to get rid of those last 2 non-alcoholic beers.
He's always offering non-alcoholic
Nobody else wants them.
He's like, hey, buddy, we have non-alcoholic beer. You want it?
That's all we have to drink in this house. Non-alcoholic beer. If you don't like it, don't come over. I do want to say, though, now that I'm older, I just had a realization.
Uh-oh.
So,
is it an epiphany?
Now, in my neighborhood, John Bell's house was kind of the house where kids would congregate. I've said this before. We'd congregate all the time.
Just like my house.
And it wasn't like a rich kid's house where there's always stuff, tons of food and drinks. But I can only imagine how many times his poor mom came home and was like, where's the food I had planned for dinner? Or something like that. You know, because we did actually, you know.
That's terrible.
Managed to wiggle what we could out of that refrigerator.
That's so terrible.
I know.
Hey, Doug Marshall. Doug Marshall's here. Hi. Doug might have some stories. Doug didn't think he was going to make it. So I'm glad he's here for a sec,
like
at least.
19 minutes to go.
Yeah. So Liz also said, I would have friends over after school and make myself whatever weird grapefruit juice and chai smoothie I usually made myself. And it would legit not occur to me to ask if they wanted some.
I mean, that's rough, dude.
I'm still stuck on the grapefruit juice and chai smoothie. Because when was that? That was ahead of the times, wasn't it? Like, with chai? When Liz was a kid? Like, not that Liz is old.
That's like grapefruit 45 plus chai diet plan.
Was that a diet plan?
You never heard of grapefruit 45 diet?
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, maybe it was just down south and it was actually grapefruit. But it was a pill. It wasn't real grapefruit anyways. It was a pill.
Is this something your mama saw on the Home Shopping Network?
No, man. It was like on television. It was like
the Home Shopping Network.
The early infomercials.
Really?
Grapefruit 45, man.
I didn't watch a lot of TV as a kid.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was another of my parental things.
Well, I had grandparents who were kind of techies, so I did.
That's so cute.
They were like some of the first people to have cable television. The first people to have a big 6-foot projector screen.
Oh, but you grew up so poor.
Oh, that was ancillary. That's when I started working at the age of 13. When my mom threw me out of the house, I had to leave my grandparents and work for them.
John Bell just said, I'm skipping ahead. Nobody really knows this, but I always gave my mom money for food every week.
I believe it. And I should have chipped in.
Bell, you're just the nicest kid.
Well,
oh my gosh. Except, when you were being super naughty and your mom was throwing the table at you, you were the nicest kid, John Bell.
Dude, I'm here to tell you, his mom put up with a lot of shit. Like, seriously, I've said it 100 times on here before, but I'm serious. Like, it wasn't just a normal kids hangout. It was a bunch of dysfunctional people.
Aww.
You know?
Susie, who is Liz's mother-in-law, I know this because I have special intel, said that Liz has always offered something to drink since I have known her, and she also jumps up and washes any dishes she finds in my sink. I love her. Aww.
Well, she should come over here once in a while.
Wash all our dishes. Come on, Liz.
We
No,
got a
sorry.
dishwasher.
um,
Her name's Carrie.
Jenna says, I lovingly did it naturally, like offering people things, but with my parents' company, it was expected no matter how I felt. And Liz says, remember, I was born yesterday. This is 1996. Yeah. Up
What?
here in Maine in 1996, we still didn't have that, I don't think.
Have what?
Chai. It was not a thing yet.
Oh, yeah, that was probably
Like,
groundbreaking.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
I feel like that didn't happen until the 2000s here.
I really don't
But
know
maybe
where
I'm
I
wrong.
was in my life when chai first became popular.
I remember it because Emily was like a kid and she was so super into it. Like,
I mean,
but maybe we're just, New England is often behind the times. And Liz did not grow up in New England.
well, New England is less and less behind the times.
I know, we're
I will
catching
say
up
that
now.
much.
So, all right, I think we're
Is
caught
that-
up. Oh, no, we're not.
No, we're not caught up.
Carrie said, we're from the UK, so they obviously wanted to make a proper impression on our neighbors when we first immigrated. So they gave things out too when we're kind as hosting.
My parents didn't want the neighbors to come over at all. Holy moly.
And this says her dishwashing rate is 2 pokey kisses per dish.
Oh, that's no problem.
That's no problem. Once
No.
Pokey likes you, the kissing never stops.
You'll leave here and know us.
Much like Shaun. All right, and then Doug said,
Wait. What was that?
I said that once Pokey likes you, the kissing never stops.
And then you said?
Much like Shaun.
Oh my God.
But they're both picky, I think.
They're both what?
Picky.
Picky?
Yeah.
I don't know about Pokey.
Well, she's so scared of people still.
Oh, that's true.
But once you're in the family, she's like, oh my
Liz,
God, let me give you a bath. Doug Marshall said, I used to steal small change from my parents. I'd buy candy and make myself sick.
Doug.
Sean's like, well.
I knew Doug and I were bros. My dad used to give me 50 cents to go get the Sunday paper, so I'd cruise down the street until I hit the first driveway with a Sunday paper in it. And I would take it home to my dad.
I married a criminal.
And then I'd have 50 cents in my pocket for candy. But I never got sick.
So messed up.
Because I can handle my candy. That's called entrepreneurism.
It's called being a criminal. All right. And speaking of criminal things, back according to the goodhousekeeping.com article, in the 1910s, the experts of parenting and babydom would say you needed to put your baby in a very large shoe. Like,
what? Where are you going to find a shoe that big?
Before they're allowed to cuddle you. Like, they thought that.
Where are you going to find a shoe that big?
I don't know. Maybe some shoe manufacturer made specially oversized
for newborn babies
shoes.
You couldn't cuddle them?
Yeah, because they thought that you weren't supposed to really handle your baby.
Are you kidding me?
No, and that continued, I think, into the 20s. Like, you were not supposed to kiss and hug your baby.
Oh yeah, I have that on my thing too.
Yeah, man. Like,
wow.
And they also thought in this hard
That's
time,
rough.
they also thought that if you had a soft name,
Well, soft what?
Name.
Yeah.
Your baby would lack backbone. So you couldn't name your baby something like Liliana, because then they would be wimpy. So like you had to give them a hard name. Like my Nana's name, who was born in the 20s. No. When was my Nana? My Nana wasn't born in the 20s.
Know.
Sorry. But my Nana had a hard name.
What was it?
Rena.
Rena?
Yeah.
Rena.
With an L at the end, it's renal. Yeah. So like,
you know what?
That's hard.
But also that same thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Which was according to parent.com.
Yeah.
The writers of that book was Watson and Morgan. They also said, then when you see your children in the morning, give them a firm, business-like handshake.
Good morning to you.
After all,
son.
you wouldn't ruin your children by letting them feel loved.
No, like they were hard.
Yeah.
Hard times. And my mom like talks about that. Like my grandparents on my mom's side were divorced in a time where I don't think it was like anyone was divorced. Yeah. Like my grandpa was a traveling, like he was a jazz big band drummer and he was always gone.
Oh, he was a player.
And when he was one time when he was always gone, he fell in love with a pianist for his band. And that's why I have all those half uncle and aunts. Because and they got divorced. And my mom always talks about how her mom was like hard, no softness, like no cuddling, no anything. And I think that was, and my mom was the opposite. My mom was like, I shall smother you with love and kisses, probably like Doug Marshall. Maybe because her mom was so hard. And her dad, whenever he came back to New Hampshire and visited, he was like the hugger. But she said, like, hugging was just not a thing her mom did. And I think it's because my
she
Nana
grew up in that generation. They were supposed to hug.
Yeah, and she thought like that would make my mom soft, and she was like, women need to be tough and hard because so to survive like I did. And I think
that's sad.
I know.
Super sad.
My mom wasn't very tough and hard, so it didn't work.
Oh well.
Not even a good slapper, honestly. How about your dad saying "shut up" or I'll slap you into next week?
My dad did a lot of hassling and stuff like that. Honestly, actually, I remember once when I was like, I honestly remember, I think I was 9 years old, and you know how kids don't take losing sometimes too well at like card games and stuff.
Yeah.
And I lost to my dad at some stupid card game. I can't remember what, and I called him a cheater. And he just slapped me right across the face, like without even thinking about it.
Like my mom, whenever my mom
said, don't ever call me a cheater. But yeah, he was an idiot like that until I was like 16 or 17.
And then you were too big, probably.
Well, he was being an idiot to my brother one night, so my brother would have been like 3 or 4, and I was like, I don't know what he did to my brother, but I remember what I said, if you ever touch my little brother again, I'm going to kick your ass. And that was the end of it for both of us.
Is that when you became a protector mentality?
I don't know.
Shall we enter a therapy session?
No therapy. I don't do therapy, baby.
I think maybe we should.
No.
Bogey the puppy dance too. What?
I don't do therapy. You know that.
Anyways, so that's why he married me, so he can get therapy without paying for it. Jenna said, my grandfather was also a musician, and he was on the road so much my father hardly knew him. He grew up in a harsher household because of that, but he ended up a kind, affectionate person. I think because he lacked that at home, and he was a wonderful dad. See? Like my mom.
Awesome.
Except for the 3 times she slapped me in high school, though I did deserve it at the end. And Jenna also said, John Bell, that was my mother. She changed when my dad got home, and he was the softer one. And Susie said, I can tell you the taste of every brand of soap.
I can only tell you one. And I don't remember which one it was, but that was all it took for me. It's just nasty.
Yeah, and Doug said my father couldn't show affection, and I'm the opposite. I think it's so interesting how that often happens. Like, sometimes we learn our traits via the nurturing of our parents, but sometimes who we become is almost like in a rebellion against our parents, like your parents really neat, so you become really messy. Your parents really messy, you become really neat. Your parents really huggy, and you're really huggy like me and Emmy, or your parents really huggy, and then you're not huggy at all, or the opposite. It's so intriguing. Like, I love it, but I want to understand it all, and I never will. Probably sigh. I want to understand.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you end up mirroring them, even if you hate them.
Yeah.
Or their behavior, I mean.
Yeah, and then it becomes like this cycle that it takes so much strength to break out of.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, so back in the 1930s, according to Good Housekeeping, pregnant women, there were like a lot of, much like everything about being a woman, I think in the 1930s, there were a lot of rules that you had to obey according to society. And one of them was that you were not supposed to travel at all if you were pregnant. You weren't even supposed to take a ride in a car.
What?
Yes.
Could you walk around?
I don't even know, honestly.
Like, go for a stroll?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or you just weren't supposed to use any mechanized transportation?
You know, hey, this one actually makes me think, I think it was just mechanized, but who knows, about like whether any of us had our parents feed us something because they really thought it was good for us, like in the time, because like in the 1940s,
Yeah.
like nutrition was this big deal thing, possibly because of the war, you know what I mean? Interrupting food chains and supplies. But one of the big things back then was that children were really supposed to get liver soup as a meal from the age of 3 months old.
What?
Liver soup.
Are you kidding me?
Nuh-uh.
That's disgusting.
I know you wouldn't like it.
Ugh.
But yeah, like, did your like parents ever have a thing they were like, you need to drink your orange juice? No?
No.
Milk builds good bones.
I heard that stuff.
But they never enforced it.
No, it wasn't. It was more like educational, like what I picked up at school or whatever, I guess. You know what I mean?
I had my one of my grandmothers, because I had a lot. She was very, very like, you have to have sardines.
Yeah.
Like sardines or herring was like the thing, like to make you strong. And another one of my grandmothers was so angry at me because I refused to drink milk because I hated milk and it made me throw up. And then another grandmother, my favorite one at the time, was like, marshmallow fluff and peanut butter is all you need to survive.
Who?
Yeah.
Who was that?
My stepfather's mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So every time I went over there, it was like, could be in the middle of the summer. It was marshmallow fluff and peanut butter and hot chocolate.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's all she ever gave me.
Lady.
I know, so did I.
Holy crap.
I was like, can she babysit me?
I could survive on that forever.
Not the sardines, anchovy,
that's for sure.
herring grandmother.
Wow.
Yeah, like it was a big deal thing.
I feel like she's from my bloodline somehow.
Maybe. You don't look very... Okay, whatever. So, do you want to read Jenna's?
My dad only ever flicked my sister once, like with his fingertips, because he caught weed in our bathroom. He never did that again. When he was much older, he shared that he felt so guilty he couldn't picture it again.
Aww.
I have his guilt.
Oh.
The real question is, did your sister ever smoke weed in the bathroom?
I know, that is the real question. Doug asked, well, at least we don't have those menstruation huts.
Oh, wait. Do I have time to run out into the backyard with the camera?
Such a liar. I thought you were going to say build one.
No, I wanted to show Doug.
We don't, Doug.
We have 3.
You know what that is? That's for Shawnee. We make Shawnee sleep in the shed every night. We're like,
yeah, that's my escape.
That's like too much testosterone in the house. When he's in here, you're gone. You're just gone. You and Sparty go sleep out there. Susie said, I've lived in several countries where it's considered vulgar for pregnant women to be in public once her pregnancy begins to show.
That's horrible.
Which is amazing. And Sayur said, my grandfather was in the army from my mother's side. Oh. A lot of my grandparents were in the army.
I don't remember about mine, actually.
I remember mine.
I don't know that either one of mine were.
Really?
Maybe my grandfather on my paternal side. I'm not sure, though.
Two of my dads were. One of my dads was, they fled the country, so he and his brother wouldn't be in the Korean War. And then they were on the McCarthy list for communists. And then they were... And then they went to Mexico. They went to Mexico first, but my grandfather refused to not wear the 3-piece tweed suits, and it was too hot for him. So then they went to Canada, and they started a farm. So they...
Did he wear a 3-piece suit all the time there?
Yeah, he did.
Because Mexico wasn't asking him to wear a three-piece suit.
No, he just
It
refused
was
to.
his own standard.
He had a three-piece suit on all the time. Like, if you told me that man, he died when I was like 2 because he was so old. And I was so young compared to everybody else in my family. I was always like the youngest of the youngest. But he, like, if you told me that he died in a three-piece suit in the shower, like, I would believe you.
You can't trust the guy that wears a three-piece suit all the time, you know.
No, and it's a heavy wool material.
Definitely not.
But he was not in the army because he did not believe in war, and they were conscientious objectors at a time when that was not cool at all. The end. What?
Nothing.
Why are you laughing?
I just think it's a funny story.
He became a communist, but he started off as a stockbroker. Does that make it any better? Equities trader. What?
Does,
yeah. They were interesting people. So Jenna says, my mother claimed that my doctor told her that coffee was good for my asthma and I was to have it twice a day. Then she wanted him to put me on something to calm me at night. My mom used to give me coffee milk in the attempt to make me drink milk.
That's so wrong. That gets your kid all caffeinated.
I know. Did you drink coffee as a little kid?
No.
No? Because didn't you have asthma as a little kid?
I didn't. No.
No?
No.
Oh.
I was allergic to the cats. Dude.
Oh, all right. That didn't make you asthmatic ever?
No.
No.
Actually, it never affected my breathing. It was like my nose and my eyes.
Oh, poor little Shawnee.
But I didn't like coffee at all. I didn't drink coffee until I was like 30.
Huh.
But I made up for lost time.
Huh. Jenna said she never did in our home, but yes, she still does to this day, though I believe, like myself, she does it medicinally. I don't know where that came from. I don't think that has to do with the menstruation huts.
No. Or the coffee. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it was part of the... Our daughter's Icelandic godmother, says Susie, wanted us to leave her there to be raised as an Icelander, then be sent to us when she turned 18. She did give up her citizenship when she turned 25 to be in Iceland, because that would be amazing. Wow. Did she run naked down the streets of Iceland in the winter?
That would be cool.
That would be really tough. That would be like warrior princess tough.
I know. Wow. Feet. Oh my God.
I know.
Your skin would stick to the pavement or the sidewalk, the concrete.
Can I tell you one more parent trend before we go?
Sure.
Because it's 8 o'clock.
I would love to.
Back in the 1940s, they thought that thumb sucking was really bad, which I think they still do, and nail biting was really bad.
Yeah.
And so they would crush like acetone, like nail polish and stuff.
Oh, for the taste?
And put it on the baby's thumb. So like they'd suck their thumb and they'd be like, eh!
Uh-huh.
That's so mean.
I remember that. Not,
what?
I don't know if it was.
How old are you, Shaun?
No, not that.
Okay.
But and not maybe, I don't know if it was out when I was a kid or not. It was after I was a young child.
Yeah.
Probably more like a teenager or preteen. But they had all that stuff you could put on your baby's fingernails that tasted bad. It was like a little fingernail polish bottle and you just brush it on. Have
you ever thought about how many things we do to babies we also do to puppies? Like,
I don't put crap on our puppy's fingernails.
No, but like they used to have like a spray thing that you're supposed to spray on like wood or things
to keep from chewing on it? Yeah,
exactly. To keep your puppy from chewing
on shoes or whatever.
And there was this one time in America's history where they thought that you were supposed to start potty training a baby from the moment it was born.
Yeah.
Which is what we do to puppies, kind of.
Stick it in the litter box.
Yeah, and kittens.
Yeah.
Like, whoo.
No, just the baby.
Susie
all
said,
of our babies have been litter box trained by the age of 6 months.
Yay, our babies. Susie said there was a brush-on solution called Thumb Stop, which is a great name, and she would just suck it off. Which sounds
like
really
a
naughty.
Lollipop, you gotta get to the good part.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't think of sucking it off exactly like that.
Oh, okay. Caitlin said my friend's mom taped her ears to her head when she was a baby, so her ears didn't stick out.
That's horrible, man. She just should have used a little thread so you didn't have to do the tape every day.
There's someone in our family who, like, they used to put, it's not the same as the ears, but it reminded me of it. They would put knit hats, like wool beanie hats on.
For what?
To get rid of their curls.
Really?
Yeah, they'd even like shower with it. Like they'd shower and put the shampoo on and then rinse the shampoo off and then put it on again, the hat, and then take it off and have a new hat out of the shower. And it's bad. Just so they wouldn't have curly hair.
What? Where do they learn about all these mystical cures?
I didn't really work.
No. They didn't make a tinfoil hat with a couple of like places where you can plug the toaster into it or anything?
No, but that would have been off. That would have been amazing. But I bet the ear thing didn't work either.
Hell no, not with tape.
No.
That's why you should use thread and stitch it to the side of the head.
No. Don't give. We are here at Loving the Strange podcast. We are not endorsing sewing your child's ears to their heads. Thank you very much.
It's no more painful than piercing their ear.
Dude, we're not endorsing ear sewing.
Hey, just make sure you heat the tip of the needle with a lighter so it's sterilized.
Oh, here, Jenna said, to clarify, I was commenting on Shaun's comment about if my sister, who had been flicked for smoking weed, did it again. Yes, but she did respect my dad's rules. There you go. Thank you, Jenna.
See?
I thought that's what it was, but I was afraid to say.
Again, but she still to this day does medicinally.
Medicinally.
That's right.
Because it's legal that way. And in some states, like here, it's legal anyway.
That's right.
Yeah. As long as you don't, what is the rule here? You can't sell it or something?
Well, not unless you're a licensed provider.
All right. There you go. Or buy it. You
can buy it if you got a license.
But you can't like buy it on the street. But you can't buy booze on the street, can you?
It's still illegal to like buy it on the street, actually, yes. What?
I don't remember the rules.
It's not quite as regulated as booze.
Oh, all right. There we go. We learned something today about Maine. And parenting. And babies. And all of our parents who smacked us, apparently.
So the moral of the story is just let your baby smoke weed.
No, put them in the cage outside the window, sew their ears to their head, let them smoke weed.
Put them in the cage outside the window and blow all your marijuana smoke out that same window.
And steal everything out of the refrigerators at their rich friend's house.
Your baby's a weed grape. I didn't steal out of the refrigerator. I partook in as much as I could while I was there. And
that began Shaun's history of binge eating and drinking.
Probably.
Yeah. Like, it's here. I gotta eat it while I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. See, therapy. Loving the Strange.
Dude, you want to go water skiing? Like, nah, I'll just hang out here. Well, you guys all go water skiing. I'll be all right.
I'll be here with the Doritos and the Pepsi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Hey, thanks you all for being here.
Thank you so much.
And it was nice to talk to you about
Next
appearance.
week we're gonna actually do 2 podcasts in a row, aren't we?
I don't know. I was thinking about going bi-weekly in the summer.
No, man.
No?
Not yet. We gotta take it before the board.
Before the board?
Yeah.
Basically D.
And John Bell.
D, John Bell, Doug, and Sayer, and Susie. We'll be like, what do you all think? It's all good. And Jenna.
All of them.
They
get a vote. You have 1 week to vote.
1 week to vote. We'll make a poll. If I knew how to make a poll, I would make a poll.
But
then what if no one voted and there's only like 2 votes in the poll? I feel like such a loser.
So what?
Yeah, I always feel like a loser. What?
No lie. You know how to make a poll.
I don't. I know on Twitter.
You know how to make a poll.
On Facebook?
Use them.
I can figure it out if it's an option.
Facebook? Can I see on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, and weekend.
I'm gonna
go big. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a wonderful rest of your summer.
No, you can't jump ahead like that.
No?
That's cheating.
Oh, man. Alice should vote. Yay. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much.
And for commenting and being a part of our podcast.
Yeah.
You make it way better than if it was just Shaun and I.
Oh yeah.
By a lot. Hey, out to the man shed.
Out to
The testosterone hut.
Thank you for listening to Loving the Strange. Please be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, embrace the strange. New episodes every Saturday, live streaming Fridays. Go get your strange on, friends. Thanks for listening.